The Week 2 injury report just dropped for the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers, and we have some very, very important information to share here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and let's get you ready for Week 2 by diving into the injury report that just dropped moments ago. Let's start off first with the New Orleans Saints side of things. We're going to go through the players who did not participate, the limited participants, the full participants, and then we're going to flip the script and do the same thing for the 49ers. So Julian Blackmon, as you all know, he suffered a torn labrum against Arizona. He is dealing with a shoulder injury, did not participate. More on him coming soon. Trevor Penning, he did not participate either with a toe injury. Him and Chase Young both missed week 1 because of these injuries I have here. For Chase Young, the original belief was that this isn't anything major and it shouldn't keep him off the field for a long time. We're still obviously waiting to see when he will take action and get back on the football field. As of Wednesday, has not done it yet. But Taliese Fuaga, he also did not participate. He was seen by media working off to the side, just on a bike. So he's dealing with the knee injury, missed some time in week 1 due to that injury. But as promised, I want to take a honed-in look on Julian Blackmon because his season is likely over. It hasn't been officially official that he's been placed on IR, but I believe that is a move that will come very, very soon. Reports most recently were saying that he is going to be getting surgery very soon. He will get surgery this week. According to Kellen Moore, that was confirmed today to media after practice. So for Julian Blackmon, after tearing his labrum, he played every single snap in the Arizona Cardinals week 1 loss. Unfortunately, he is going to be out for the rest of the season, which sucks. Big opportunity, though, for Jonas Sanker. Kellen Moore today even called him out by name and gave him some props and said Jonas Sanker is going to thrive and do a really, really great job on Sunday. Let's go to the limited participants here. Velus Jones Jr., the running back / kick returner. He's dealing with a little bit of a knee problem. Long snapper Zach Wood has an elbow injury. Both of these guys were limited participants. To be totally honest, as long as these guys stay limited or move in the right direction to a full participant, I think that everyone here should be fine. I think everyone should be starting, so I'm not really too worried about what's going on for Velus Jones or Zach Wood. Now, for Jordan Howden, I do think that he's a player who could also see a lot of run because of the Julian Blackmon injury. Obviously, the New Orleans Saints drafted Jonas Sanker in the 3rd round. However, Jordan Howden has been around for some time, and he's been able to contribute a handful of games whenever his number has been called. So for the Saints, you have a couple of options that are young. You also have Terrell Burgess and Elliott Davison on the practice squad as well, so I expect them to be standard elevations. And then on top of that, Fadil Diggs, he also was brought back. Hunter Decker's waived from the roster, so I think that's all of the Saints news. And before we dive into the latest news around the San Francisco 49ers, want to encourage you to join our squad and subscribe for 100% free Saints content. 137 subs away until we cross the 50,000 milestone. So hit the sub button, lock us in, and help us get to 50K subscribers. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a massive accomplishment, and all I have to say is thank you. Now, as promised, the 49ers injury report, it's actually super duper concerning if you are the San Francisco 49ers. The first piece of news that we've already discussed on the channel but wanted to officially announce, George Kittle will not be available for week 2 because he was placed on injured reserve, and this is a big, big loss for the San Francisco 49ers defense because in case you didn't know, they are horrible when George Kittle is not a factor on their offense. They are 6-12 without George Kittle since 2019, and in their last 3 contests where he was unavailable, they have not won a game. That's since 2023. I think that is, and those are numbers that are significant and that the Saints could potentially take advantage of. By no means are we celebrating injuries. By no means are we saying, woohoo, this is great. Yeah, no, that is not at all what we're doing. We are acknowledging the facts that the 49ers are going to be down and without some of their top weapons and some of their top playmakers. So the Saints have an opportunity to backpedal and potentially luck into a win in week 2. Now, Brock Purdy, the latest around him, because there is new information from Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers head coach. Brock Purdy is a long shot to play on Sunday. The toe injury is actually what's considered to be a little bit more severe. That's kind of what the 49ers are more worried about, is a toe injury. However, Mac Jones right now is in line to start versus the Saints and potentially beyond. We're going to dive into why this is good news for the Saints. We're going to dive into the full injury report for San Francisco, and we're going to talk about how the Saints can win this game. But really quick, got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Chubby's Shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, all I want to say is welcome to the most wonderful time of the year. Fall weather is back. Football is on. Your lady friend just threw some banana bread in the oven, and life is good. But just because the weather is changing over doesn't mean you have to pack away the fun. Chubby's is here to make sure your fall wardrobe hits harder than a pumpkin spice latte on a slow Sunday morning, with soft, stretchy, fall-ready staples built for maximum comfort and minimal effort. The Chubby's Fall Collection just recently dropped, and it's packed with cozy gear that brings the heat, literally and metaphorically. And later this month, they're launching the new Comfort Collection. You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new collection coming soon. It is the Comfort Collection, featuring the Everywhere Jogger. It's the perfect pant for impromptu naps, weekend errands, and everything in between. We all agree fall should be cozy, not constricting. And Chubby's delivers peak softness without sacrificing an ounce of style. So go ahead, break up with stiff pants, and embrace the fun side of fall. Whether you're layering up for tailgates, lounging through Sundays, or leaning fully into fall comfort, Chubby's has you covered. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving listeners to Saints Now by Chat Sports $10 off your order with the code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com. That's code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com. All of that information is in the comments and description of this video. I made the link clickable to make it easy. Support the show and show your thighs some respect with Chubby's. Now, Mac Jones, he stinks. He might be starting. If that's the case, Saints defense should feast. Just gonna go ahead and say that. If Alabama's Mac Jones, national champion, Pro Bowler Mac Jones, if this guy inevitably does end up taking the field, the New Orleans Saints odds to win through the roof. They have just skyrocketed. I firmly do believe that Brock Purdy gives the 49ers a better chance to win. And in my opinion, of course, the odds just got much, much better for the New Orleans Saints. But that doesn't mean you can't execute. That doesn't mean that you can just half-ass this game. That doesn't mean you can show up unprepared and be like, oh, they're playing backups. We're fine. No. Brandon Staley's defense needs to come hungry. Needs to come ready for some vengeance. Needs to come ready to bring the boom every single day, every single play. For what it's worth, I do think that the New Orleans Saints this entire time have had an opportunity to win this game. I'm not very, very high on the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm especially lower on them considering the fact that they are severely beat up. Here's all the players who did not participate in Wednesday's practice in San Francisco, or I guess in Santa Clara. Brock Purdy, as we stated earlier, did not participate. He is a long shot to play week 1. We will monitor his status, and we will keep you guys notified. Jauan Jennings, he has a shoulder injury. More on him in a moment. Trent Williams, one of the better left tackles in the National Football League. He had a rest day. Obviously, I think he will likely play. I don't see a world where he doesn't. Nick Bosa is having a very strong start to this season. Yetur Gross-Matos, he's dealing with a knee injury, but Christian McCaffrey, another offensive weapon for San Francisco, also dealing with a calf/rest day. Now, Jauan Jennings, in my personal opinion, let's remove Christian McCaffrey from this conversation. So pass catchers, wide receivers, tight ends, that's kind of where I'm staying here. Jauan Jennings is probably their best option. Brandon Ayuk on the pup. Deebo Samuel, traded away. Christian McCaffrey, he's around, but he's dealing with some injuries and /rest day. George Kittle on IR. So the entire 49ers passing offense is going to go through this guy, and it's likely also going to go through Christian McCaffrey. And when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, I do know that they also have some talent in Russell Gage. They also have players like Sky Moore, Jordan Watkins. They have Luke Farrell. They also traded recently for Brian Robinson Jr. They also have Ricky Pearsall. And Ricky Pearsall is an absolute stud. So when it comes to the 49ers offense, yes, they are going to be down. They still have players who can make plays, but they don't have nearly the firepower that they could have if they were healthy. So like I said, this 49ers offense is severely beat up. Your healthy options as of right now with no injury designation, Ricky Pearsall, Sky Moore, Brian Robinson Jr., Russell Gage, Luke Farrell. I think you can manage that. If Brandon Staley can't, you might need to have some conversations. And I will say, the New Orleans Saints might be able to backpedal themselves into a win. Because let's keep it real here. The New Orleans Saints looked like dog shit in week 1. In certain aspects. Some aspects, I will give them a lot of credit. They looked fine. Like, I think these defense started off red hot. I think their offense got better as the game went on. But the one theme that was consistent through all 4 quarters, that was the most frustrating thing to deal with, was the penalties. 13 for 89. You cannot win football games when you have almost the entire length of the football field in penalty yardage. That is damn near impossible to win. But the New Orleans Saints offense or the defense, in my opinion, wasn't necessarily the problem. The offense is where things were really, really bad. They could not finish drives. They couldn't stay alive on third downs. They couldn't keep drives moving downfield. They were, obviously, it's special teams. Blake Grupe missed the field goal, but not getting first downs for the opportunity to get 6 instead of miss a field goal. Like, the offense, to me, was what held the team back in week 1. And you have a very, very good edge rusher that is going to be a huge test for Kelvin Banks Jr. and potentially Talese Fuaga. If Fuaga cannot play, Bosa is going to be targeting the other side. It's going to be Asim Richards if he is unable to play. He was the swing tackle who filled in when Kelvin Banks played, or when Kelvin Banks was settling with that injury last week. But reminder, Nick Bosa did not participate on Wednesday. I expect him to play on Sunday. He's a gamer. He is a very, very talented football player. And to be honest, he gives them the best chance to win on the defensive side of the football. Also have to acknowledge Fred Warner. He's a dog. So the Saints might be able to backpedal themselves into win because you have to take into consideration this guy right here is going to look to feast. Talese Fuaga and Kelvin Banks Jr. I hope you're ready for this test. This is going to be a tough one. One of the best edge rushers in the National Football League. You have an opportunity to prove that the Saints starting tackles are legit. You have an opportunity to prove that the Saints have established some key parts to their offenses along the offensive line. So if Banks and Fuaga can shine and can do some good and limit Nick Bosa, I think that the Saints could find themselves with a victory. Reminder, still got to take into consideration Fred Warner, because Fred Warner is very, very good, best linebacker in football. But I do think that the San Francisco 49ers offense is so beat up that the Saints offense, or the Saints defense, might be able to capitalize. And the Saints offense has, in my opinion, some really nice talent that could challenge some of the 49ers defense. God, I'm getting all over the place, Colin. It's a bad day. Limited participants for the San Francisco 49ers. You see it right here on your screen. Just 3 players. In my personal opinion, I think this could actually turn out to be a really fun matchup. I think that this is 2 teams that are both very, very they are 2 teams that have a lot to prove who are very beat up right now. So I'm calling it the Super Injured Bowl because it could be the Super Bowl, it could be the Medical Bowl, but we're calling it the Super Injured Bowl. So I want you to get in the comment section and predict the score for me. Saints versus Niners. Off the top of my head, I'm going to go, I haven't even thought about it. 21 to 10. I think the Niners offense might be really, really dull in week 1. And I think the Saints defense is going to show up. So get in the comment section. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I want to hear from you. And y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.